Here's what we're looking at. It says 5k less than or equal to negative 20, or 2k greater than or equal to 8. Now, if you're in that group of people that doesn't have this done perfect or correct, you didn't have the right answer, you do want to copy this down to your notebook. So, in all of these problems, you want to think of this as two problems to do separately, and then deal with the word or to link them up once you've graphed them. So, this guy over here, what do I do to get the k by itself? Divide by 5. So divide each side by 5, and that leaves me k is less than or equal to negative 4. And on this one, to get the k by itself, divide by 2. So that's divide each side by 2. That gives me k greater than or equal to 4.
Are you recording?
Yes. Yeah? Guys. Then you leave it as a fraction. If the numbers don't divide unevenly, and that's what you have to do to get the variable by itself, you just deal with the fraction. Like, okay, you're asking what if this was 5k is less than or equal to 23. All right, you would divide each side by k, or by 5. And then you would have k is less than or equal to 23 divided by 5. And you're done. You can't reduce it anymore.
How do you graph that?
Then you would graph that by putting your dot at 22/5, which I would make a decimal to see where it should be. It's closer to 4 and change. But yeah, you graph what you have to graph. So come back over. Then you're done. No, you proceed just like you do with this, except that you're dealing with a fraction instead of a number.
What if the number was 76? How do you graph it?
7/6?
No, 76.
76. And you put your dot at 76. So you don't have to put 0 anywhere. And each tick mark doesn't have to be 1 unit. Each tick mark can be 20 units.
And how do you know how much space to leave on the side? You know how to get colored in,
You leave as much space as you need to show what you're looking at. It's like when I graph this, I'm only going to put 0, -4, and 4 on it, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to put everybody else. I'm not even going to really worry about the space between them, because the important thing here is that I'm showing the relative relationships, not that I get right down to I can use a ruler to check my math. Okay? Like that? No. The worst fractions will be something that looks like b divided by 4 is less than 20. That's fine. Yeah, you can put numbers wherever you need to put them. And how would you do that? We can talk about that later. Back to this one. Oh yeah. Guys. Yep. Okay. If it's and not or, then you're probably going to be shading in the space that they would share, or you shade everything that's possible for either answer. Well, if it's and, where they overlap. If it's or, you shade everywhere that either one is true. But let me explain that a little further by finishing this problem. On this one, to finish it, k is less than or equal to -4. Yeah? Question? Okay. Okay, save the questions about the and until we finish this problem off. K is less than or equal to -4. What kind of dot have I got? Closed? All right. And which way do I shade? To the left. K is greater than or equal to 4, so it's a solid dot at 4, shaded to the right. And my final answer is this group and this group. Everything that I've shaded, because it makes this true or that true, is considered part of the solution. Which is different than the word and, because in the and case, I ask myself, where do they overlap? Where is it true for the first one and the second one? Which is why usually and is between the points. because they usually go at counters to each other. They cross. And thus it becomes this area in the middle that is my AND case. The OR case is just everything that it could be. And if they crisscross, and I use the word OR, then it's a whole number line, because every number makes it true. Kind of like your check with this is take the number 1. Does the number 1 make either of these statements true? Is 1 less than -4? No. Is it greater than 4? No. Therefore, it's not in the solution, so there's no shading there. And that's kind of your safety net. You can always go back and ask yourself, does a certain number work where it's supposed to? Remember, this is using the word OR to connect them. So you say, hey, does this number over here, -3, make either of those true? Is that true or that true if k is -3? And the answer is no, so it's not shaded. How does that look for the ORs? All right, so before we start talking AND,